Hi folks, welcome to the video. In this video we're going to have another look at perspective projection. We're going to take it a step further. We're going to work on this item right here. So it's a little set of steps. I have it all color coded there in my little sketch, and I'm not going to add color here to these views, but I certainly will add it when I'm looking down here at the perspective. I might add some here later towards the end of the question. Over here to the side I have my key notes, so if you feel like popping them onto your page as well, it's a great reminder. Just kind of gives us some hints along the way of what we should be doing, and it keeps the structure going, which is also important in a topic like this. Just when you're getting used to it at the beginning, after a certain amount of time it becomes second nature. You'll just remember this stuff, but or you'll understand it more importantly. But for now I just have a fair few keynotes. Now I'll refer to them throughout. Pause the video if you like, zoom in on those and take note of them yourselves. I've even left out a little one here and there, but generally more or less all there. If you're setting up this question yourself, the sizes or the dimensions that we have, the plan is 40 millimeters thick, so I'll just write them down here. Plan there is 40. Each of the three steps are 25, 25 and 25. So I'll just put that there, 25, 25 and 25. This is the length of each of the three steps, and the height of each of the three steps, 15, 15 and 15. So our totals, 3 15s is 45, and the total length, 3 25s, 75. And big fan of a little bit of shading and a bit of shadow dropped in there as well. So if you'd like to add that little sketch yourself, that's just a little isometric sketch angled at 30 degrees and vertical edges. Just gives us a little bit of an idea of what we're dealing with here. They're your dimensions. So I just left, I'm not sure what the spaces are there, it doesn't really matter. Just have it nice and close to the corner so there's loads of space for us to work with. Now the keynotes here, the first keynote is to draw the plan. Now I'm also drawing the elevation. It's not always necessary. In this case it's not really necessary at all. You could complete this whole drawing without the elevation, but we'll get in the habit of putting it in there, because when you get to more complex drawings you will definitely need an elevation, and you might even need a second elevation, that being an auxiliary. Our next, so we've drawn the plan. If you have used them dimensions there, and I'll just go through them very quickly once more. The elevation is 45 high and it is 75 long. So it goes up 15 in 25, up 15 in 25, up 15 and finally 25. I left a 10mm gap there, but that again, that is irrelevant. Leave whatever space you want, but I just left 10mm there between the elevation and plan down from the XY line. And the width of the plan here, or the depth of the object, or whatever we'll call it, is 40 millimeters. Now, to find the spectator, we're going to take an angle of 45 degrees, and we're going to measure down along there by 50 millimeters and mark that as the spectator. I'm going to mark that with a pen or with my fine liner. And the reason I'll do that is because one of the only times I'll hopefully be using the rubber is especially just when we're new to the topic. Rub out that line, because we don't want to confuse that with any other line after. That line is not important. It has done its job right now and it has no further bearing on the drawing. So 45 degrees down is the direction, and the distance is 50 millimeters, and that gives us our spectator. Now you're ready to start drawing along with me. Now if you feel like giving this a go yourself, if you've practiced one or two, pause the video, go for it yourself, go a couple of steps, replay the video and see. I'm looking here, I've drawn the plan, I've found my spectator. Look left and look right. I shouldn't say it. Just like crossing the road. Look left and look right, everything's falling. Look to the extreme left of the object. Look to the extreme right of the object. We're only dealing with the plan. Please don't forget that. The elevation has nothing to do with the perspective just yet. The elevation will only serve a purpose of establishing heights, nothing else. when we're looking at perspective, we're looking down on the plan of what's happening as this spectator views this object. Once I have found, looked left and right, I need to find my CLV, my central line of vision, and to do that I need to look left, look right and bisect. Compass, of course, being set to just any random size at all there, and that gives me a central line of vision from the spectator. That would be the best possible angle to look at this object for that spectator, to get a central view of what's happening, so that there's an equal amount of their vision, of their peripheral vision, going left and right, and they're directly looking through the center of their extremes. I'll just put that central line of vision in there with a colour, and I will also label it CLV. If you have an adjustable set square, it makes things a little bit easier here, because what you can simply do is this: set up the angle of your central line of vision. There's no sliding set squares involved from here on. So if you have an adjustable, it is great for this. There's your central line of vision angle, and everything is going to be either parallel or, in this one of our cases here, perpendicular. But let's just say if this is mainly going out to junior cert students, or you've just started leaving cert course and maybe this is still kind of new to you, or you don't have all that equipment, let's just go with this, okay? I'm going to take my central line of vision, exact angle. I'll be doing a lot of sliding set squares here, and I'll go perpendicular. And I'd also have had to tell you that the picture plane passes through edge A, or corner A, and that would be it. So this isn't going to be a very big perspective, not at all. It's going to be quite a tidy one, but it will fill our page up nicely. Now, how far along have I got? I've drawn the plan, I've found the spectator, look left and right, central line and picture plane. And that picture plane is at 90 degrees to the central line of vision. And I would also suggest that you always put in the 90-degree symbol. And that will sometimes ensure that if you made a mistake and if you lined up with the wrong line, or you did something wrong with your sliding set squares, put in the 90-degree symbol, and it might just spur you to think, 1 second, is it 90? And you'll just check it and you know it is. The next one then after the picture plane is the vanishing parallels. Look parallel to each side of the object, the primary faces of the object. So looking parallel one way here, just change up my colour. I usually use pink for that actually, and I'd like to keep with the same structure, and if I'm doing that I'm going to change the colour of my CLV there to green. So I usually use pink, and I just continue on with the same setup all the way through. I'm going to look parallel to the primary faces of the object from the spectator onto the picture plane there. So that's parallel to that. And then parallel in the other way is just up vertical. And I have just established VP1 and VP2. What's it say next? Picture plane, vanishing parallels done, and ground line and horizon line. Two of them are next. So ground line, horizon line, we need to basically take everything that's happening on the picture plane needs to be brought down along our page and drop down flat or rabatted. So that's what I'm going to do. How will I do that? Well, I'll start off with the exact angle of my CLV, central line of vision, and I'll bring down VP2, VP1 down my page. I'll stop someplace, put in a ground line, and I'll need to give you a little bit more information in what is the height of that spectator. That'll give us the distance between the spectator's ground position and their eye line, or their horizon line. So what will I do? How will I do this? I'll do it this way. Need to do a little bit of shuffling around here maybe now. I want to get a decent bit of space here, so I'll take just like that. I'll bring down VP2, I'll bring down VP1, and I'm going to take the angle of the picture plane, which is right there, 90 degrees to this set square, and I can go that way which works pretty well for me. And I'm going to draw in that guy there, which is my GL ground line. I usually don't note it that big, but I will now so that it comes out clearly in the video. Now, I'm going to tell you that the height of the spectator is equal to 65 millimeters. So that's a kind of a key piece of information right there. The height of the spectator for this particular drawing is 65 millimeters. Very important piece of info. That changes with every question. That means that if that spectator stands on the ground, that their horizon is 65 above. So I can take the angle of my ground again. I probably should be coming back to here actually, just in case. I don't want to build up errors. So I come back to the picture plane, and there's my horizon line. On the horizon line are the vanishing points VP1, VP2. And then we're kind of ready to get started actually drawing the object. What are we looking for next? Where are we? Vanishing parallels, ground line, horizon line, vanishing points VP1, VP2, and the true heights on the picture plane. So if the picture plane touches the object at a particular position, where it touches right there, that's on the plane, that's a true height. So I'm going to project. That sets where what? No, I'm going to project down now. In line with my projections here, I'm going to project down just that one edge A, that front corner. A touches the blue picture plane, it sits on the ground, and the height of A is, I can take it in my compass now as 15, or I can just go ahead and mark it there. That's 15. That is the true height of edge A. I can vanish left and vanish right. I'm vanishing to the left, or to the right here, apologies. I'm vanishing to the right here. What's that actually getting me? That's getting me what I can see of this front surface, which is the orange one. That's going to be the orange surface in there. Don't know how far back it's going to go yet, but I know it's going to be orange. When I vanish left from that and from that, now this is looking kind of tight here. I know that that's looking left along the primary face, so that's just going to be my shaded, my pencil one. Again, no idea how far it's going to go. How do I find out? Well, I'd like to find out the orange one first. So where's the end of the orange surface? It's all the way back here. View, and from the picture plane, project. So view and project. I've already viewed it with my blue limit line. When I viewed left and right, it limits the object. I've already viewed that point. So I've viewed the edge, and I'll take it from the picture plane and project. And that gets me the end of the orange surface right there. So I can draw in the orange surface, fully filled in just like that. Similarly, where's the back of this hole? I'm working back along. Where's the end of that 75? Of course we can't measure it. We view, and from the picture plane, project. I think you can see where the adjustable comes in handy here. All the resetting of angles. So there we are. That's it back along the left hand side. So I know I can shade in all the way back to there. Don't know how high I can go yet. I'll just go up slightly above that green line because I know I will be able to. But that's all we can see at the moment. Where do we go next? Well, I'd like to find this purple surface here next. So if I can go back along the edge until I get the corner, which is here. So I'm going to view the corner, and from the picture plane, project it down. and that'll get me the end of the purple surface here. Really important point. I'm going to go back towards VP2 and back towards VP1, and I'll colour in my purple surface. That's where we're going next with this. Give it a go yourself, see how you get on. Pause the video. When you resume, I'll take you through it. So here on the purple surface, I am going to work with this purple surface. Look at your parallels. Parallel lines will go towards the same vanishing point. So if I want my 25mm front edge and my 25mm back edge, the 25mm front edge is here, 25mm back edge will go towards the same vanishing point. This 40mm front edge will go to the same vanishing point as the 40mm back edge. So this one here goes to VP2, and I need another one here to go to VP2. How do I find this? Let's look at it. So from the spectator, let's view until it crosses the picture plane. And project. That's going to allow me, it just gives me basically that one point there on the purple. I'm looking along this 40mm, which goes parallel to the front one. So it's going back here to VP2. And there's my purple surface. That's this one done here in plan. Just drop them in now, a bit of colour in as I go along. I didn't need to I didn't need to view this back point of it. I could have viewed and projected and it would still hit on the same point. I didn't actually need to though, because you can just, when you get one point, you can go both ways with one of these surfaces. That just works perfectly sometimes. Maybe not always. Sometimes you might have to view the back point as well. What I'd like to do next is this. I'll just take my hand again. And just to take note of one little thing. It goes up now. In reality, it goes up here by 15mm. And in reality, it goes up here by 15mm. They're real sizes. But in perspective, it doesn't. That's not what happens. In perspective, we need to see something different. Now, here's what we're actually going to do. We're going to extend out because we don't know the height that it appears here. It definitely does not appear at 15mm. Why not? Well, because it's behind the picture plane. We have our picture plane, and this is behind it, and we're viewing it. And as we view it, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller as it comes forward to here. If it touches the picture plane, it's a true height, true size. If it's behind the picture plane, then it's smaller. It appears smaller, and that's what gives this the realism. We don't know how much smaller. We can't say that, oh, well, it was 15 here and it's 12 here and 9 here and so on. We can't do that. But what we do instead is we do a little extension. We'll change up the question. As I've often said, if you can solve it, you change it. And that's what we're going to do right now. We are going to change the question into this. We're going to act like as if that step doesn't really exist. We're going to do that. Okay, and what does that look like? Well, it just looks like as if all this orange here comes forward, and we're boxing the whole thing in, and we're saying, well, it's all orange here now, and it's all orange here. So we're just boxing it in. What does that look like down in plan? It just looks like we're extending the plane forward to hit the picture plane. So we're completely ignoring the question that we're being asked to solve, and we're just boxing it in here and make it into this bigger object. So what does that look like for us here? Well, it looks like the front step is no longer 15. The front step is now 15 plus 15, 30. In some cases, we won't have nice equal measurements, and we would have to go here and say that we'll take the compass height and set it there. So that's what I'll do. Edge A, the front corner, has now become 30mm tall. I don't need to heavy it in, I just will for the sake of it, because it might make it a little bit clearer for you to see. Edge A has now become 30 millimeters tall. That represents a double size step, so all along 25, 50. So it represents a step going from the front all the way back here, and it represents a step going all the way back here. What else is it? Well, it's here, isn't it? It's going up that second rise there, there, here, here. Where else? Well, it goes right back along and it catches that step along the way. This is the really handy thing about it. I'm after doing this now. I'm after going along the up at the edge A to 30 high, back and down. That's here. Up, back and down. Then I decided from edge A I went in here towards this red one to catch the red one, and I'm after just doing that inadvertently in the process. What did that do for me? Well, that gave me the true height, or sorry, that gave me the height in perspective that green surface is. Where to next? Well, I'll do the same at the back here. I'll go from my back corner and I'll go parallel here to the 75, aiming towards VP1 again. I should keep my colour scheme here. And what has just happened there is I have found the height of the green surface. Again, if I'm accurate, which I'm not too bad there I suppose, if I'm accurate I should be able to join true. It's not too bad, it's not perfect, it's not bad. And I'll join true from my vanishing point and catch the top of the green surface in both positions. So by boxing it in and changing up the question, I've just managed to find that next, what we should call a riser. When you're dealing with steps and stairs, the two terms that we always use is a riser and a going, or a riser and a tread, if you're talking really down the woodworking route. So that's our next riser, and hopefully it makes sense there what I did by boxing it all in and creating this second object, dropping it in, bringing my height forward. This is the key point. Bringing your height and extending it forward onto the position where we can mark it as a true height. And that's our second riser. Now to go back along the red there until we get to this point is the next part of the question. And we're going back along this red surface here. There's my red step until I hit the back of the step. And ignore the rough and ready colour. We're going back along from the green all the way back until we hit the back of that red step. So let's view and project. View the back of the step. And from the picture plane, there, we project it down. That gives me the back of the step. I can heavy in from the green back along. I don't know the height yet, but I do know a little bit more information. I can definitely do a little bit more with this. I've done the front edge is now done. I'll do the back edge. This one is done, isn't it? Yeah, along the top of the green. The back edge just so happens to line up perfectly there. Of course it does. It's lining up all the way back along, so I can go this way instead. Back to VP2. And I end up getting the top surface of that red step right here. While I'm building this up now, I've been working up and back. I've also been building here my grey surface, so that's getting quite close to completion. Where to next? The blue, the next riser. And I suppose most people will probably realise exactly where this is going now. And this is going to be another extension. We'll extend out so many different ways we could talk about this. We'll extend out the top height until it reaches the front point, or we're extending a plane. We're extending a plane here, or we're adding an extra block in here, or projecting the top edge height along until it reaches a true height position on the plane. But no matter how you look at it, we're taking this edge up here and we're extending out until it hits edge A, where it can be marked as a true height and then vanished back along. So we're kind of adding a block on and then cutting it off again after. I suppose in a sense that's what we're doing. So we're adding on that blue top block there and then we're cutting it off again after. Working from here, extending through until it hits the plane right there. We're lucky enough we're hitting the plane at the same place all the time. There's more than one way to do this, by the way, and if anyone wants a challenge, you can also extend it down this way until you hit the picture plane. I'll leave that one with you. Total height is 45. I'm just getting into the habit of taking it with the compass, because when we get slopes and curves, we need that compass. Marked as a true height there, up along from A, and then vanished, back along to VP1. Now it starts getting a bit busy. What am I trying to catch here? Well, I've gone back along to VP1 from the blue height, which is a true height on the front edge. So I've gone up the front edge to the true height. I'll go back along and I need to come vertically up off of the red surface here until it hits. So I keep watching your lines, watch the lines until it hits this one. And there we go. Okay. Where next I'm going to go back to VP2. And I'm going to go up from the corner. So back to VP2. And if I take my projection angle here, I'm going to go back to the top corner of the red and straight up. And the colour for that one, that is my blue surface. Nearly there. Back along my yellow, and I can finish off this shaded front surface here. So back along the yellow, and it just goes until it gets to the back edge, which I've already drawn quite a bit of. There. As I said, I usually wouldn't go shading up along, but I do like when we're at an early stage with this, that we build it up and we see it building up as we go. The final little bit to be added is this yellow surface on top. Now we can just see a little bit of it. Don't forget, the object itself is 45 high. Okay? And we're only 65 high as a spectator. The spectator is just 65. So what you'll notice is that the spectator is just about able to see over the top of the object. I'll join my vanishing back one direction and the second direction. That is the portion of that top that we're able to see. It's very small there. And then I'll grab my pencil and just heavy in around the edges. Now, there's a bit of learning in that one, that's for sure. There's a little bit going on there. If I wanted to just finish it off now, just like I did up here. Now, it's, sorry, not finish it off, but help to explain it a little bit more possibly. If I boxed in that, that's actually what we just did there as a final step, is that we added on that next block, I suppose, onto the whole thing. So this blue block up here is what gave me, that blue little building block there gave me the top step, the very, very top step. It's like we're adding bits on and cutting them off again after. It's that blue block right there, goes right back along and gives me the top step up above. And under the blue block, I had an orange block here that I added on. That just goes back to there. And that's this guy here. And those two kind of building blocks, we can refer to them like that we're adding blocks on and cutting them back off again, or you can refer to them as just an extension of a height line through to hit a point on the picture plane, whatever you find most the easiest to understand. There's a nice little drawing. I have one more coming up for you. Okay, a little bit of a challenge this time for you. And here is your next challenge. Just I've it already set up there, laid out and set out, and I'll just give you the dimensions now. So it's so similar in difficulty to the last one. You have your 2 levels going on, but you also have this little cutout here. Sizes. Total length of the object 70. Total height is 50. Distance out here on top 20. The height at the front point here is 15, and that means that there must be 35 there. Yeah, that's a 35mm vertical right there, so it's up 15. If it's a total of 70 and the top is 20, then this must be 50 remaining here along this edge. And the depth of the object here is a total of 45, 15, 15 and 15. That's along the front here, 15, 15, 15. And the one remaining one I think that I need there is to give you that line is 20. So stepping back in right there, back in by 20, back in by 20. That's all the dimensions you need. Again, I left about 10 there between the plan and the elevation. That'll allow you to draw the elevation. So the elevation there, 70 long, up 15, 20 into the hidden, 50 in to the vertical, which is 35, 20, 50. The plan then is 45 total, 15, 15, 15 in the front, step in 20, so it's down 15, in 20, down 15, out 20, down 15. The spectator is at a 45-degree angle and is 45mm. So 45 degrees, 45mm. There's your spectator. And that's your drawing challenge. Best of luck with it. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Make sure that this page is kept as colourful and as interesting as the last one. And of course, just like the previous, drop in your keywords or keynotes. Add a bit of colour to your sketch and add anything you need to. These will be great sheets to look back on in time to come. Thanks very much for watching.